In a move that no one saw coming, Prince William's emotional plea for unity was flatly rejected by the very people he sought to bring together. Sources close to the royal family claim that the future king, in a bid to honor Queen Elizabeth's final wish, desperately begged King Charles and Camilla to act on what he believed was the late monarch's vision for the family. But instead of receiving the cooperation he expected, he was met with nothing more than cold indifference. The monarchy, it seems, is on the verge of collapse, torn apart by a secret that has been hidden within its walls for generations. A secret that is now on the verge of being exposed to the world. The Queen's final wishes, so carefully concealed, could now spell disaster, not the peaceful transition of power that the public had been led to believe. The reading of the will has not only revealed shocking information, but it has shaken the royal family to its very core, leaving behind a trail of destruction that could rewrite history. 4 years, Buckingham Palace kept the contents of Queen Elizabeth's will locked away in a vault, carefully guarded by a few trusted officials. But now, in an unprecedented act, Prince William took it upon himself to read the will aloud, setting off a chain of events that no one could have anticipated. What was meant to be a quiet, private affair turned into a royal bombshell, as the secrets within the will shook the monarchy to its very foundations. What could be so explosive within the Queen's will that it has caused such a dramatic fallout among the royal family? The implications of these revelations are so far-reaching that they could change the course of history itself. Far from being a peaceful end to a long reign, these revelations may very well be the catalyst for the monarchy's downfall. The atmosphere in the room when the will was read was electric, thick with tension. King Charles and Camilla were reportedly rendered incoherent by the revelations. They seemed caught off guard, their responses suggesting long-standing tensions that had been hidden behind the walls of Buckingham Palace for years. Even the monarchy's long-standing reputation for tradition and secrecy was unable to shield it from the revelations now tearing it apart. Insiders claim that the reading of the will was nothing short of a royal disaster. The contents of the document were said to have left family members stunned, causing them to re-evaluate their positions within the family and the monarchy. Prince William's decision to unveil these secrets, while bold, also marked a dramatic shift in the royal family's dynamics. It wasn't just a reading of a legal document, it was a declaration of leadership. Prince William's audacity to read the will in front of the family, in a moment of such heightened emotion, was an act that shook everyone in the room. It wasn't simply about the assets or properties that Queen Elizabeth had passed down, it was about something much deeper. This was a vision for the monarchy's future. It was about legacy, duty, and the very survival of the institution itself. Prince William's action was not only about revealing what was hidden, it was about stepping into his role as the future leader of the royal family. In a way, it was an emotional turning point for the monarchy. Family members were reportedly moved to tears as they realized the weight of the Queen's final wishes and how profoundly they would affect their lives moving forward. But there was no joy in this revelation. The contents of the will were far from typical. Royal assets and properties, traditionally passed down according to a set order, were divided in ways that defied expectations. Balmoral Castle, one of Queen Elizabeth's most treasured properties, was surprisingly redistributed. The manner in which it was handled caused a great deal of discomfort among the family. This wasn't just about land, it was about the very nature of the monarchy itself. The redistribution of assets, including some of the Queen's personal fortune and her private art collection, added to the turmoil. But it wasn't just about money, it was about the emotional significance of these treasures. For example, some of the Queen's jewelry was presented to individuals who had never been publicly connected to these pieces before. To some, this felt like a betrayal, especially to those who had been promised these items by the Queen herself. Why would Queen Elizabeth have made such audacious decisions? What was the deeper meaning behind these choices? Were they a strategy to maintain fairness, or were they a sign of deeper tensions within the family? These unresolved questions have kept the royal family and the public in a state of suspense, as the world waits for answers. Among the most vocal in response to the reading of the will was Princess Anne. Known for her steadfast adherence to tradition, and voiced her concerns about the potential disruption caused by the will's contents. Her worries centered around the distribution of authority within the family, and how these changes would impact the delicate balance that had been maintained for years. And, ever the defender of tradition, warned King Charles about the fallout that was sure to follow. She argued that the Queen's meticulously preserved structure of the monarchy was at risk of being undone by the unexpected redistribution of assets and responsibilities. King Charles and Camilla, reportedly irritated by Anne's concerns, brushed them aside. But Anne was unwavering in her resolve. She understood that this was not just about personal wealth, it was about protecting the monarchy from the chaos that could follow these decisions. Yet, Princess Anne's attempts to steer the family back toward unity were met with resistance. She took an active role in managing the Queen's equestrian-related possessions, but her efforts were undermined by the ongoing rift within the family. The discord between Anne and Camilla, who had been accused of altering the Queen's final wishes to suit her own interests, became more pronounced. As tensions mounted, it became clear that the royal family was at a crossroads. The will's revelations had exposed deep fissures within the family, and many questioned whether these rifts could ever be healed. Would the family be able to move past these divisions and restore unity, or would the fractures deepen, ultimately undermining the monarchy's ability to function? The fallout from the will's reading was not limited to the royal family alone. The public, too, was deeply affected by the revelations. Critics were quick to voice their concerns, questioning the monarchy's ability to remain unified in the face of such turmoil. Prince Andrew, for example, was criticized after it was revealed that his inheritance had been diminished due to his controversial background. Meanwhile, Camilla found herself at the center of a growing scandal, with accusations that she had overstepped her bounds by influencing the distribution of the Queen's jewels. As the drama unfolded, the monarchy's once untouchable reputation began to fray. Public opinion, which had always been carefully cultivated, was now in jeopardy. The royal family's ability to weather this storm would depend on how they responded to these revelations. Could they overcome these controversies, or would the monarchy crumble under the weight of its own internal conflicts? For King Charles, the reading of the will presented fresh challenges. His reign, which had only just begun, was already under intense scrutiny. The delicate balance between tradition and contemporary aspirations was harder to maintain than ever before. Meanwhile, Prince William, by stepping up and taking charge of the situation, had solidified his position as the future leader of the monarchy. His actions in revealing the will were not just about transparency, they were about asserting his authority as the rightful heir. In the aftermath of the Queen's will, it became clear that a new era was dawning for the royal family. The younger generation, led by Prince William, was beginning to take center stage, while the older generation struggled to adapt to the changing times. As the family navigates these challenges, one question remains: can they overcome these deep divisions and emerge stronger, or will the monarchy be forever altered by these revelations? One thing is certain, the contents of Queen Elizabeth's will have forever changed the course of royal history, and the royal family will never be the same again.